Welcome to Go Talk Studios. I'm your host, Lionel Abados. Here at Go Talk Studios, we bring you real people, real stories, real Sarawak. Now, since 2016, today's guest has organized nearly 100 events across Sarawak. Trail runs, ultramarathons, bamboo racecrafts down remote rivers, and eco-challenges through places like Mulu's rainforest and cave systems. Just over a month ago, his company delivered the Borneo 100 Triathlon in Sematan, which counts as the largest triathlon ever staged in the state, with hundreds of competitors from as far as Japan, Germany, Russia, and Italy, all wading into the South China Sea at dawn. And before any of that, part of the job involves working with the Sarawak Forestry Corporation on crocodile flushing to make sure the rivers are safe to race on. Now, I hope I don't butcher his name, but Awang Saifeluddin is the founder and the CEO of Grit Event Management, an ex-co-member of the Sarawak Business Events Association, and a board member, of the Sarawak Tourism Federation. He has also personally completed a full Ironman in Langkawi, carrying the Sarawak flag across the finish line. Awang, welcome to Go Talk Studios.
Thank you, Lionel.
I mean, just to verify, I got your name correct there, right?
Yes, correct.
Thank you for that. I needed to hear. Your resume is really impressive, and I think anyone that would be looking at it would be like, my gosh, this guy, like apart from all these events, getting all these people, he's also done a full Ironman. And I think one of the things I like to do with our guests before we dive into their story, into the business, is to just craft an idea of who this person is. So, Awang, maybe you could tell us, where did you grow up? Where are you from? Where did you grow up? What was your childhood like?
Thank you, Lionel, for that question. I'm actually from Cebu, a small town in Sarawak. Yeah, I'm not from Kuching. I grew up in a small family. We have 3 siblings. I'm the eldest in the family. So when I was in high school, I get involved in athletics. I was a long distance runner. And in 1996, I think it's around 30 years back, I had the opportunity to be a Sarawak state runner as well as a walking competition. It's a 10,000 meter walk competition. So I think I hold the record. I'm not quite sure whether the record still hold until now, but it has always been in me the interest to do sports. But along the way, with university and working time, I realized that I do not have much time to do it. But it always has in me. I love outdoor. I felt that there is a lot of things to explore when we go outside from our home. So it has been my interest, and I think Sarawak have a lot to discover. Exactly like what Sarawak Tourism Board tagline, there's more to discover in Sarawak.
Oh, that's right.
So I love it, and I felt that our backyard, there's a lot of experience, a lot of opportunity for people to see the beauty of Sarawak.
So then when you were there, maybe in your younger days, running and walking, all right, did you want to be an athlete? What were your prospects? What were you thinking of becoming?
I was a runner in Cebu, a small town. Cebu is very, very small. And there's one day, I remember when I was 13 years old, I saw there's an uncle, very weird. He's wearing tight, running very tight, and then he's cycling as well. So when I asked a couple of friends, I'm 13 years old, so I was like curious, what is this guy doing? Why he's doing multiple discipline? Then when they tell me that he's an Ironman, so it does spark an interest in me. So what is an Ironman? So I realized that it is an event where the people swim, cycle, and run. So I was wow, this is a dream that for me. So when I participate in Ironman, when I start to go for walking in my walking career and things like that, I realized Ironman is one of my dream. It's my goal. One day that I want to complete an Ironman. So I'm very lucky that I completed full Ironman in 2025 in Langkawi, and it has been a good memory for me. One of the interesting thing about Ironman is that it's because of the tagline itself. The tagline of Ironman is anything is possible. So it gives me an inspiration that anybody that the future that you want is possible. Yeah. So when I was a young boy in Cebu, born in a normal small family where my dad is just a laborer, there's a lot of dream that is in front of me, and I felt that I'm inspired by this, that you could be somebody.
That's interesting.
So that's why when in 2015 I started my company, I thought long and hard about what should I name the company, what identify as me. So I felt that grit is the best name for it, because grit signifies that patience and perseverance over a long period of time to reach a certain goal.
Ah, okay.
So I believe that to be an Ironman, you need to have the grit inside of you.
As the tagline goes, anything is possible.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, so after all the running, you ended up then going to university. You hold a diploma in public administration,
Yes,
right? From Mara University of Technology. How did you end up before grit? What was the journey like, right? You graduate, you get your diploma, then what was that journey like?
Okay. When after I finished my university in diploma in public administration, I worked with training company. Yeah,
Just following that line.
I work in training company because I believe that capacity building. I believe the best thing to invest is in human ability or human itself, because I felt that we are limitless in our ability. Should we have faith in ourselves? Should we trust ourselves that we are able to contribute or give more values to the humanity itself? So I involved in a training company. After that, I was being headhunted with a construction company, in Cebu. That was, I think, 30 years ago, a construction company in Cebu. Then I was headhunted by a firm called Collar. They sell bathroom and kitchen. Then I came back to Kuching. After that, I worked with Trevelyan in a property and architecture company. And in 2016, when I started Grit, is because I've been always, I love outdoor. When I was 2015, I love to go hiking. I love to go for fishing. I love to go swimming. And one of the things that I found interesting is Sarawak have a lot of hiking trail, but there's not much of a trail events in Sarawak that is professionally organized. So I started the company with the idea that we could create a company that we manage it properly. The event itself, we manage it properly with the license, with the insurance, with the proper due diligence taken care of all the participants. And we can offer Sarawak to a lot of trail running.
When it came to actually forming Grit, I'm guessing you were still working at this point.
Yes, I am.
So then, was this just you were hiking one day and you're like, oh man, then let me create this company? How did that come about?
Not really. I was hiking, and then I love to go for trail run. And unfortunately, in Malaysia, in Sarawak, there is not much trail running events. So the nearest that I went is in KK. One of the event is called the Most Beautiful Thing, TMBT. It has been organized for over 10 years. The organizer is still a good friend. It's a friend of mine and still a good friend of mine. And I felt they've done it tremendously well. And through that event, what I can see, the value that it can give Sarawakian or people who are organizing it is you can bring more tourists to come to a rural area to appreciate the area. There's so much economic impact. People are coming there for the accommodation. People buy food there. People buy craft there. People contribute to the local economy. So I felt that when I come back, there's very nice place called Santubong, which I know a lot of people been to. Santubong people, weekend, they go for hiking together at Santubong. But we could do an event there. We can do a trail running event in Santubong, which when we do an event, what we need to do is, I realize in KK, they have insurance, they have very clear marking, they have a good after run, post run food. We can actually experience very good hospitality there. So I thought, why not I organize it in Kuching? So that's where Grit came up.
And that was your very first event?
Yes, that was my first event. My first event was in 2016. It was called a Purmai Trail Road Run. Yeah, at that time we managed to get 500 over participants. Yeah, I'm surprised by the number. I thought I could get only around 200 to 300 people.
So, as your first event, then, like, what were the challenges you experienced? Right. I'm
first-
guessing there was no experience,
Yeah,
right?
yeah. We don't have much experience, so all my crew are part-timers who are all my friends, all my hiking friends, and all are part-time because the company started just to create the event, just for fun. And we managed to complete the event successfully and safely. And after that, we have more and more people asking us, can you organize an event for me, for us, or things like that. Yeah.
Oh, and then that's what told you, okay, this thing looks like it
Yes.
could work.
Yeah.
So, then how long did it take for you to leave your full-time job and just fully dive into grit?
2016 was when I started the company. I go full-time in 2018. Yeah, because during 2018, I have an epiphany to feel that in my current career, I've already reached the top of my career already. Yeah. And I felt that I don't want to live the life where I ask, what if I do this full time? What if I do things that I'm passionate about full time?
And then at that point, right, you'd been everything, construction, as you were saying, you're done in property. Oh. And how many events had you done up to this point before you fully committed?
I think at that time I've organized around 20 to 30 events. Yeah.
Oh, goodness.
By that time.
So the experience, how were you getting the clients? Like, so the very first time, right, you say, okay, I've got event number 1. How did event number 2 come about? 3?
The
all the way
event
to 10?
number 2 is from friends who suggest, why not we organize such an event? I remember the second event that I organized is called a pisang relay. Pisang, which is a banana. They use the banana as a baton for a relay. So that time it was quite famous in West Malaysia. They organized this pisang relay. So we organized it. And it was quite interesting experience for people in Kuching. Yeah. And I see that it make a comeback this year. We call it the Ekiden race. It's a Japanese term, an Ekiden race, where it's a relay. Yeah. So it start to pick up, and then after that, there were charity organization that look for us. One of it is the Kuching Autistic Association, who asked us, can you do an autism run? Which we did the first one. So after that, more and more, and we were approached by a certain government agency who wanted to let the public know about what they are doing.
Oh, lovely. Yeah. So it sounds like word of mouth, your reputation was growing.
Yep.
Now, speaking of word of mouth, right, and just your reputation growing, you hold internationally recognized accreditations, all right? You're certified in exhibition management, you're certified event designer, and you're a certified incentive specialist, right? I would imagine that most people running, say, these types of events, especially outdoor events, would not even consider getting these certifications. Why? What drove you to pursue these qualifications?
Thank you for that question, Lionel. In fact, the certification came about during the COVID time. On this part, I would like to thank the state government of Sarawak, because through the agency, which is a business event Sarawak, realized that during COVID, we can't do outdoor event. But it's a good time during this pause for us to train, to create the capacity building, to upgrade our event organizer in Sarawak of a certain skills that after COVID, they can pick up and they can serve better clients. So Business Event Sarawak organized a few training program which they subsidize, but the participants need to pay a certain sum so that we can get international certification. So from there, I realized a few things. One of the things that I felt that Sarawak is going forward is because we are not targeting mass tourism. Sarawak government, through the Ministry of Tourism, is not targeting people bringing buses of tourists to go for shopping and things like that. But we are looking more into business events and also niche event. What other niche event that we are looking for is ecotourism. Sarawak, we are famous for our ecotourism. We have a lot of river, we have a lot of jungle. One of the few rainforests that is remaining in the world, which is a gem that other country is monetizing it, and we need to monetize it as well. So we train more people to bring more business event in Sarawak. But to create more business event in Sarawak, we need to have more EO, which is events organizer that are able to organize it with international standards. So how does we want to create more of such an EO is to give them trainings. So this is what Business Event Sarawak is doing. And fortunately, a number of event organizer in Sarawak take full advantage of it and get these certifications. Yeah.
And it sounds like COVID really inspired you in this particular time, because I would imagine that was a major business shift, as it was for everyone else.
Yes.
And maybe run us through that. What happened for you during COVID, right? You can't do outdoor events anymore. So that must have been a really difficult time. How did you pivot exactly?
Oh, I'm very grateful because of during COVID, it's a time of a pause. So when a time of a pause, a good thing is that we can do introspect rather than to just look out at opportunity that is blocked from us. But we look into ourselves that what other opportunities that is available that we do not see. Do you believe that I'm actually a certified film director? I'm currently a certified film director under the Film Director Associations of Malaysia. During that time, FINAS have grant to give those people who wanted to do film and also documentary. And I'm grateful because of Sarawak government have TVS to offer companies who wanted to do documentary or short films and documentary or game show, which I pitched for it and I got it. Yeah, I got it. And yeah, I produced one game show called My Kampong Game. It's available in TVS.
My Kampong Game.
Yeah, yeah.
Wow, okay.
Yeah, I'm currently I'm a certified film director.
Oh wow! So did you ever pursue? This was just during COVID that you pursued this?
Yes. After COVID, I think the good thing is the state. I mean, we come back to area where we can do events, outdoor events. So I'm doing more outdoor events now rather than to go into film. But we're grateful because why? If not because of COVID, if not because of the pause, I won't know that there's such an opportunity that is open for us.
Right.
So through this experience, I have more empathy to creative industry producer. So there are certain challenges that I know personally that is challenging, but at the same time, I can see that Sarawak, there's a lot of area where it can be a good place for us to promote it, to become a good film, to shoot film in Sarawak. And that itself could be a very good way for us to promote Sarawak. Certain location in the world is made famous from movies.
Correct.
Like in New Zealand, it's because of the Lord of the Rings. Iceland because of the Game of Thrones.
Right.
So there's a lot of location that could be made famous because of films.
Oh, it's interesting. Wow. Okay. It sounds like COVID was a blessing for you in more senses. And I also then came across this. You were named a 2021 Acumen Fellow in Malaysia. Now, what exactly does that mean?
Okay, Acumen Fellow is an international body. It's an international body of an NGO where it believes in creating value and uplifting people from poverty, but not through direct giving them money. We want to empower the community to see what they can do to change, to uplift their economic situation. How I get, there is an interview and there is also a selection process. Out of hundreds of applicants to be an Acumen Fellow in Malaysia, I think that year we have 19 people selected as an Acumen Fellow. We are Acumen Fellow for the whole world. There's groups of people who are certified as an Acumen Fellow. And how did I get this is through our work with trail running in Sarawak. You see, one of the interesting thing about trail running is we are using the resources that is available abundantly in Sarawak that is owned by the local native if they just maintain the area. So we let them feel that, hey, I could monetize this area by preserving it, by preserving it, by giving it more visibility through events. Because what? A lot of this urban migration is something that we can't stop.
Correct.
People are moving from the rural area to the urban area, and a lot of time leave their grandparents or the elder generations in the village. So the elder generation in the village, a lot of time they have lands, they have mountain, they have rivers and things like that. Then which they don't see how they can monetize it, and slowly it will be sold off, or it will be just let it there. But what we do is that we let them see there is a value there. We tell them, okay, let's work together. I'm not going to give you, but I'm going to work together with you to bring more people here so that it create more visibility of your area. If you protect this area, we bring more tourists over through our trail running. So Acumen believe that there is one of the way for companies in Southeast Asia to empower the locals. You can empower the locals by craft. People can do craft, people can do ecotourism, and we fulfill the ecotourism part.
I see. And I suppose then you've worked, in my research, you've worked across 20 different villages.
Yes.
And how were you able to build the trust of the people in those villages then?
One of the things is that I believe that the villagers needs constant communication. We need to let them feel that we are going towards the same direction. We want to let them feel that we are empowering them and we are acknowledging them, but at the same time want to show that we need your participation rather than just, it's not a subsidy, it's not it's not a sympathy, but we want to work together with you. We want to empower you so that after we left, you can pick this up.
That's wonderful.
Yes.
Okay, now I think that fully explains the Acumen Fellowship, and congratulations on that.
Thank you.
Now, I want to move on to the bamboo raft safari. I thought this was such an interesting concept, and this particular raft safari has grown into a full circuit in Padawan, Selangor, Muka, and much more. And I believe now it's unified into a league for the 2026 season. Maybe you could walk us through how the raft safari actually works and maybe why it's such a natural fit for Sarawak.
Okay, raft safari is something that is very interesting, that it has been organized for many, many years in Sarawak in the rural area. So rural area, that what I mentioned is those who are a little bit distance away from the major towns such as Kuching, Sibu, Miri and Bintulu. Perhaps it takes around 1 hour to reach from this major area. So we were given the opportunity in 2019 to be the organizer of Padawan Raft Safari. So what we realized is people that go for Padawan Raft Safari, they do enjoy it and they want to go for other Raft Safari in Sarawak, which other organizer of Raft Safari in Sarawak such as Sarian, in Muka, in Selangor, they also felt that, hey, let's engage GRID because GRID have a certain requirement for them. When you organize an event through us, you upgrade yourself. We have a proper online registration. You no longer need to send in your registration to manual forms. The payment is through online payment, so it's very clear, it's simplified, and the timing is recorded professionally. So it's a professional event in a suburban setting. So after so many years, we realized that all these small areas, suburban areas, if we can combine them together in a major league, we can market it at the same time. One of the major problems for event is in terms of the marketing. We want to bring more people in our events, but one event can only do as much. But at the same time, you are sharing the same demography of your targeted customer, also the same with other events. So what we do is we just put them in a league so that they felt that they could register for one, they could register for a few as well. It helped each other.
Well, and when we go into maybe some of the challenges, marketing is one, but I'd imagine preparation is one. And one of the things I found really interesting was you had to incorporate, of course, the Sarawak Forestry Corporation and the Sarawak Rivers Board to conduct crocodile flushing.
Yes.
What exactly was happening there? What's crocodile flushing?
Yeah, crocodile flushing. is a term actually from Sarawak Forestry Corporation. Sarawak Forestry Corporation and the Sarawak River Board is our very important agencies, not only in terms of the using of the river, but to ensure that the participants are safe. So crocodile flushing means that before the events, they will go around the river to see any sighting of crocodiles in the river. Only when there is no sighting of crocodiles in the river and they say that it's safe, then we will do the events. Yeah, most of the time it was done months before, and also the last one is the days before the events.
Yeah, when I think of this process and how now you've brought a certain standard to it, right? I think when we look at it, you standardized event management, especially when we look at this particular event, online registration, as you mentioned, the participant insurance, uniform competition categories. And you were mentioning that this used to be an informal tradition, and this should happen. So what was it like before this? How were they? There was no crocodile flushing. Like how? And these were just people just having these events before. Do you have any idea what it was like?
What it was like, because I was a participant as well, many years back, before I was the organizer.
Oh.
It started. The idea was it's supposed to be just a small village event. It's in between village. Let's put up the bamboo and let's see who can be the fastest among the rivers and things like that. That's the initial idea. So the council felt that, hey, these events could be done proper. They can bring more people in to see and experience it. So when we come in, when I joined more than 10 years ago, I realized that there's a few things which it will make me feel better if there's things that are being taken care of. For example, the main thing is the safety of the participants. So what we do when I took over, when Grid managed the rough safari, is that we ensure that every participants, we know where they are at all the time. Means that we know when they're finished and things like that. So when I joined more than 10 years ago, I realized that when I finished, even the organizer went back already because we are slow. But our commitment is we make sure that everybody's safe before we go back. That's the number one. Second thing is that we ensure that all the information is readily available for all the potential participants. Imagine that when we want to attract people from outsiders, we want to attract people from overseas to join your event. But when you want to join my event, you need to fill in manual form and you have to pay cash. That time was before Sarawak Pay is in existence. Through a counter. That does not make sense.
No, not
it
at
does not make sense. So for me, that's contradict what your aim is. If you aim to bring in people from overseas to join your event, I think it's very important for you to make it seamlessness, to make it very easy for people to register. So those are the things that we put in. Registration through online, payment portal is ready, we get a receipt. It shows that you are ready to bring in people from overseas. So that is the things that I felt that what we do.
One thing I'm picking up is you have a knack for creating really interesting events and then bringing a standard to these events. So it's compelling in that it's a very new concept or maybe a concept people aren't so aware of. But then you bring in the insurance, you bring in a standard that people aren't so sure of. And in this case, another event I found interesting was the Mulu Eco Challenge. All right, a 12K run with 5-kilometer bamboo rafting lake through Mulu's rainforest and the cave landscapes, and a 10,000 ringgit prize pool. And you'd have international participants from Brunei, Singapore, Sabah, and the Peninsula. What made Mulu specifically such a compelling location?
Mulu is a brand. It's a very famous location in the world that people will come to see the cave. But I want to let people know there are so many things more to do in Mulu rather than just to visit the cave. You can come for the Eco Challenge, because if not, most of people say, oh, I've been to the Mulu Pinnacles, I've been to the cave. What else to discover in Mulu?
Correct.
So there's, for me, my role here to organize the Mulu Eco Challenge is for me to create more tourism products for the state. So when you come to Mulu, you can actually join this type of event. That's number one. Second thing is that I wanted to let people know, to spark the idea that Mulu, there are more to discover rather than just the Eco Challenge or the cave and also the pinnacle. I want to let people see that we could do an event there which can trigger something like the Survivor. You know, you've seen the Survivor.
Yep.
Let me tell you a very interesting story. The Survivor is created by my idol, is named Mark Burnett. Mark Burnett is a military guy. He used to be in military. He's British military. Mark Burnett actually ever came to Mulu, 1993, with a eco challenge called is organized by Red Galuas. So from that idea, Mark Burnett actually thought of this Survivor, and he even mentioned it in YouTube. You can see it that the idea that from Survivor is actually from Malaysia. In fact, the first Survivor is filmed in Pulau Tiga in Sabah. And now Survivor, the cost for Survivor to shoot one episode of Survivor is $1 million US, and the spark of it is from Borneo. So I wanted to let more opportunity for people to feel that this is a possibility. This could be a possibility.
That is, you just dropped the fact of the day. Like Survivor is such a brand, and I wonder how many people are aware that Borneo, well, specifically Sarawak, was an inspiration for such a. Wow, that's incredible.
Yes.
Now, Mulu is a really remote region, so I would imagine for you organizing this event, the logistics are a nightmare. Maybe you could run us through what were the logistics to make this event happen?
Okay, the main challenge for us for Mulu is the accommodation. Yeah, accommodation is one thing where we need to ensure that our participants will have enough places to stay. So at the moment, the capacity of Mulu to hold guests is around 200 to 400 people at the same time. Means that at one time, the maximum is 200 to 400. But if we look at it from a positive point of view, we need to let the locals see that this is a possibility, that we can bring in the people, please do more homestay.
Oh, I see.
So for them to feel we need to create more homestay, they need to feel there is a business potential. I don't want to create a homestay, but nobody comes to stay.
Correct.
So we need to create visibility. So how do we create the visibility? Is by having such an event in this area so that they realize that, hey, let's go to Mulu. There is a places to stay. You can stay with a homestay. They can experience a local way of staying in this area.
That's a wonderful initiative. And I would imagine then for the locals then, is there any pressure for them? Like when they create the homestay, do they feel, oh, I need to create it to a certain standard, or is it to keep it authentic?
They can keep it authentic because the requirement from what we ask from them is also not that high. But at the same time, we also let those people who are participating in Mulu Eco Challenge understand that there are certain challenges for people in Mulu in order for them to create the services that you may be accustomed to in an urban area, which they understand. Yeah, for example, you are not expecting like a full aircon all the time.
Correct.
You know, you might have to expect a certain level of discomfort, but the trade-off is you get a very nice nature surrounding.
Right on. Oh, superb initiative. Now, let's move on to the Borneo 100 Triathlon. All right. Now, I believe the Borneo Triathlon 100 Triathlon happened on June 21st in Samatan. You had competitors entering the South China Sea at dawn, hundreds of them, I believe. And you had some as far away as from Japan, from Russia. And now that it's actually happened, right? I think we're a month removed from it. How does it compare with what you had planned on paper?
It turns out to be better. I can put it that way, that it turns out to be better because that is our first ever triathlon that we organized. But I have to give credit to the race director, which is Eric Tay, because Eric Tay is an Ironman that we engage part-time as a project director for this project and also the race director. And he ensured that there is certain standards to be held for this Borneo 100. And the first thing he did was to get a group of experienced Ironman finisher to be in a team, because he felt that the best way for us to serve the people that want to experience triathlon is to get people who are passionate, second, who have experienced the race itself, so that you know how hard is it for you to complete a triathlon? So that's where I talk about runners' experience, or what the people can experience when they go for your events. So we curate the event from the runner's point of view, from the triathlete's point of view. We put ourselves in their shoe. What would I want to experience when I join a triathlon event? Yeah. So when we put ourselves in our customer's shoe, we want to ensure that our needs is taken care of, and in turn, their need is also taken care of.
And speaking of the race director, Eric Tay, actually, he called this event the first genuinely world-class standard triathlon ever held in Sarawak, with a professional timing system used in the 2025 Southeast Asian Games. Now, for you, what did that actually mean, say, hitting an international standard? Like, operationally, what did that require?
There's two elements of this. First is that what do they require? A lot of time, a lot of event organizers in Sarawak give the reason that, oh, Sarawak is small, our number is not that big, we just do a simple event. I believe that Sarawak have talent. The talent is in even organizing the event to a certain level of experience that people can feel that, wow, this is world class. So we stick to that standards. What is the world class meant to us? First is that it is sanctioned from the Malaysia Triathlon Associations. Means that my result carries weight. The event carries weight. The event will be properly taken care of. The event is something that if I go for international events such as Ironman, I will expect a certain level of services to be given. So that is number one for me. Second thing is that it also break our glass ceiling. Glass ceiling that I talk about is that for the other organizers to feel that, oh, we do not need to do this type of services for the participants. For example, we even have the services that if you're cycling, during your cycling part, if your tire is punctured, we even have a roadside mechanic, a mobile mechanic to help you to pass you the tube so that you can change it. That is the level of standard, and this only available at the international events such as T100, and this is world class.
My goodness.
So when we challenge ourselves, grit motto is different from Ironman. Ironman is about anything is possible. For grit is challenge yourself. So we always challenge ourselves in thinking how we can be better, how we can give a better services for our client, how we can be better ourselves. So that is how we live the motto.
Superb. Now, when it came to the event, you ended up with well over 20% international participation, and I believe you exceeded your original target.
Yeah.
Maybe you could tell us what the original target was?
We actually are hoping for around 150 participants. At 150 participants is already the biggest ever triathlon to be held in Sarawak. Never. People are not expecting anything more than 100
And you ended up with?
We ended up with way more than that. We ended up with 200 over participants.
Goodness.
Yeah.
So now that the race is done, then what's the plan maybe to grow the international audience for the next year?
We are planning for the next year very soon. We are already in the process of planning. We're going to announce the date very soon.
Now, when it comes to you, right, you completed a full Ironman in Langkawi. Maybe what was that preparation like? How I've seen Ironman, like training. I run a bit, and it's not easy. But an Ironman is a whole nother level. So, what was that like for you in terms of just personal preparation?
Ironman is, for me, it's a commitment. If you ask what is an Ironman for me, Ironman is commitment. What is commitment? The commitment for you to finish a race that is so difficult that most people felt that it's impossible. It is the toughest endurance race in the world, which involves three very major disciplines, which is running, swimming, and also the cycling. So what it meant for me is a commitment from early of the year that you need to know that a part of your life will be trade off because of Ironman. You have to spend a certain time of your training hours a week, like around 12 hours, and sometimes it can go to 19 hours accumulated in a week that you spend for your training. So, and you have to continuously maintain it over months, and you have to build it slowly over months for that.
Which part was the hardest for you of the three?
I believe the hardest part will be the swim part. The swimming part, it's difficult. Swimming is different from cycling and running. Swimming, if you are a swimmer when you're a young age, you have a certain advantage because of the muscle memory. You know how to glide through the water.
Right.
But it is still possible. It is still possible.
And how many months were you training for?
I trained for 9 months. Yeah.
And in a week, how many times were you training in a week?
I train every day.
Yeah.
I think Ironman, you're expected to train every day. If you're training for Ironman, it is a standard that you train 6 out of 7 days a week. And then on the 7th day that you rest, normally we'll still do a bit of whether you can do some yoga, you can do some stretching and things like that.
Some recovery.
Yeah, some recovery. Yeah. But not every day of the 6th day is a heavy workout. There are days which are easier workout. There are days which are long workout.
Will you do another Ironman?
Yes.
Oh, it's like
in a heartbeat.
In a heartbeat. Oh, wow. Wow.
The decision. Yeah, I made the decision last year after I finished the Ironman. Yeah. When people ask me whether I will do another Ironman, yes.
Now, let's maybe move on to the business of adventure tourism. Now, adventure and ecotourism are, of course, as we've covered already, logistically, they're brutal, at least when compared to a normal corporate event. Remote locations, wildlife, health scares, safety, insurance, permits. For you, what would you say is the single hardest, maybe operational problem that you still find needs plugging?
I think because of when we are organizing events which are involve the locals or from the ecotourism point of view, we need to have a constant communication with them. Because the reason why it's different from the corporate world where you have a certain level of understanding of how things would work. If you are working towards for outdoor events involving the locals, there's a lot of ambiguity that sometimes they felt they don't dare to ask you, or sometimes they assume a certain things when done in a certain way, it's good enough. But for us, sometimes it's not. So certain times we need to push a little bit, certain times we need to encourage a little bit. But most importantly, we need to empathize. The level of understanding is different, so we need to slowly guide them towards a certain level of services that we expect.
Oh, so it's just the communication and getting that message across.
Yes.
Okay, wonderful. And then you also happen to sit on the EXCO, as we covered, of the Sarawak Business Events Association and the board of the Sarawak Tourism Federation. And from that vantage point, is Sarawak's adventure tourism industry, is it growing fast enough to compete, say, maybe internationally?
Yes, I believe that we have a lot to offer. And the evidence of that is we can see that there's a lot of events happening every single week in Sarawak. Yesterday, I just completed Selangor Raft Safari. We have 45 teams coming to such a remote place in Cebu. It's somewhere that people don't really know where is it, Selangor. And we have people coming from the northern region, people coming from the southern region to come to this Selangor Raft Safari. We have 45 teams of 180 people. And at the same time, in another town, we have the mountain bike challenge. We have more than 450 participants. At the same time, in Kuching, they have Kuching Heritage Race, 4,000 over participants. So you can see that Sarawak is going, that there's a lot of activities happening. And the future is getting better because there are more competent organizers here in Sarawak.
And I suppose then this aligns with what you're saying, why we need the certifications to make sure that the events are held to a certain standard. So when we look between the raft safaris, the Mulu Challenge, the Borneo 100, right, you're dealing with a number of stakeholders, government agencies, you're dealing with tourism boards, airlines, tourists. Maybe who are the hardest stakeholders to keep aligned when you're dealing with all of this?
I think the hardest stakeholder to keep aligned to work in line of this is definitely the private sectors. The government understand that it is very important for them to support. But from the private sectors, it is very understandable that they want to see what is the return on investment, what is the ROI in this. One of the challenge for rural area return on investment is there's not that big numbers of participants in any of the events. Even though, let's say for example, the Padawan Rough Safari, we managed to get 200 over teams. 200 over team, it translates to 2,000 to 3,000 people coming for the event. But for a brand, sometimes to see, they want to have more eyeballs. They want to have more people to see the brands, for them to feel worth it, for them to put in money to sponsor the event. That is why we come up with this Borneo Rough Safari. So that the idea is when you sponsor one event, you can actually see your brand to be seen multiple times around multiple locations. That is our idea.
So then, are you looking to compel the private sector to get involved a lot more?
Yes, because we see that Sarawak is an opportunity for the private sector to sell the things as well. They want to capture the market in Sarawak, so they need to find avenues for them to do marketing. We want to show them that outdoor events fulfill not only your marketing purposes, but also your CSR purposes. Because what you're investing is not investing only in the event, but you're also investing in your corporate social responsibility. Because most of it is from grassroots. The idea of Rough Safari is a community event. So you're promoting your brand in the community as well.
Right, and you're giving back as you rightfully should. Now, let's talk about Sarawak as a destination. And you've said that Sarawak has a lot to offer. You've been in a bunch of places already. In your experience, maybe, what place would you say in Sarawak is criminally underrated or probably needs more exposure?
I personally think Upper Baleh area in Kapit.
Why is that?
Yeah. Upper Baleh area in Kapit, I felt that it's very beautiful. I had the opportunity and the privilege to go to Upper Baleh areas called Marirai. Very small, longhouse, very remote area, but the places is very beautiful. Very beautiful, very serene. Mountainous, clear river. And the journey towards that place is an experience itself. If we know in the world, a lot of time people talk about the experience on a river in Amazon River, but there is not much being sold about the experience using boat in the Rejang River. There's not much.
Correct.
So I felt that this could be something I'm willing to pay, the experience I'm willing to pay. But there need to be more coordination. There need to be more visibility to be shown. Upper Baleh is one of the places that I felt is a very good opportunity, that if there are more effort to promote that area.
Okay, wonderful. Then I will certainly be looking that up. Kapit is an interesting place. Now, when we compare, say, other adventure tourism destinations in Southeast Asia, Bali, parts of Thailand, the Philippines, what does Sarawak have maybe that these other regions may not have specifically? What makes it so unique compared to these other locations?
One of the interesting things that Sarawak has is our rainforest. I would say it's our rainforest. Our rainforest is the only few place in the whole world that still have its own charm. All these, the way the rivers and everything is still something that is very different. I've traveled around the world, and especially in Southeast Asia. I travel for diving. I travel for hiking. I travel for runs. I realized that Sarawak, one of the things that very famous about Sarawak is there's not only one location in Sarawak. For example, if you go to Bali, there's only one island. You go to Lombok, there's only one location.
Correct.
But Sarawak itself, there's so many things from even the food in Cebu and food in Kuching is totally different. The tribe, even from the Chinese tribe, is totally different. Cebu with the Fuchao, the Kuching with the Teochew, with the Hakka, it's totally different. So we still have a lot more to discover. In terms of our cuisine, there's a lot more to discover. In terms of our nature, there's a lot more to discover. When we talk about nature, because the size, the enormous size of Sarawak, there's a different culture that you can experience from the northern side of Sarawak to the southern side of Sarawak. Different climate as well. I've been to Barrio a couple of times, and the people in Barrio, the food and the experience that you go in Barrio is different from if you go to Serian. It's different, totally different. So there's a lot more to experience. And a lot of it, the common denominators of all this culture is all within our rainforest. Most of it, the ingredient, the experience is all from our jungle. Yeah. So that will be something different. Our rainforest is definitely the main thing that is competitive. Because why? If you look at our nature, we can't compete in terms of our sea and beach with Sabah. We can't compete in terms of mountain because Sabah have KK, Mount Kinabalu. But our rainforest is definitely much better than in compared to Sabah.
Well, it's definitely a world standard, I would say, right? The experience you get, say, going down the river, as you said.
And Sarawak have the most number of national park in Malaysia. In one state alone, we have more than 47 national park, or the total protected area. What is the advantage of this total protected area from Sarawak Forestry Corporation is we are able to see the actual flora and fauna there without interruption or any disturbance from outside. So this is something very special.
Then maybe let's look at what's missing. All right. Maybe in terms of infrastructure, could be in terms of investment. What we say is missing for Sarawak to become, say, an international adventure tourism capital, in a sense. What is still needed?
More certified event management company to organize such a thing. We need to have more incentive for people event organizer to organize event in such a rural area. You see, the main challenges for event organizer to organize events in the rural area is the number of participants. Easily, if I do running events in Kuching, I can get thousands of people. Even my next event is Sarawak Energy Marathon, we get more than 9,000 people sign up. But if you're looking into a small area like Mulu, the number of participants will not be that big. Basically, the reason is the number of population that is small. But it is very important for the government to understand that when we want to incentivize the event management company, we need to see what is the potential value out of it, not only looking at the numbers of the outcome, number of the participants. So that is something that I felt that currently we need. We need to let the event organizer, first, more capable event organizers, and second is that to properly incentivize the event organizer or any film directors who want to do events or shooting in all these remote areas. Because if there's no incentive, they won't want to go. Because it's much more expensive.
That's a brilliant answer. I'm sure there are many potential film directors out there and event organizers who would concur. Maybe let's move on to advice, all right, and the future. Now, there might be a young Sarawakian, loves the outdoors, is thinking, I'd really love to do what Awang is doing. What advice would you have for them if they want to get involved in the space?
My advice is that first, you need to really see what is your main interest. And are you willing to pay the price? Paying the price means that there will be a lot of late night. Beside the glamours and the enjoyment that you see, whether you are willing to pay the price of going through a lot of communication, doing a lot of groundwork to do. That's the first thing. If you are able or understand that I'm going to pay the price of more hard work, I'm willing to do a lot more hard work, I am even willing to take some financial losses, then you're welcome to do it. At the same time, also, it's very important for you to, if it's possible, to intern or to help out in certain smaller events. When you help out in certain smaller events, you can get real-life experience how to organize an event. So for us in GRID, we always welcome those people who wanted to be part of us, whether it's part-time or even full-time. If you are interested in this, do look for us. We are always open. I'm always open to share. I'm always open to collaborate with people who want to collaborate with us. The most important you need to do is you need to have a very good attitude that you are willing to learn, and we are aligned in our goal in order to give proper value to our customer.
Hmm. That's a beautiful answer. I'm sure many people have heard that, so you know where to sign up or if you need to work with them. And where does Grit go from here? Are you looking to deepen your events in Sarawak, or are you looking to expand across maybe Malaysia?
Our goal is actually to expand outside from Sarawak. The idea of Borneo Rough Safari is that we wanted to have more events in Borneo. And Borneo is not only Sarawak. We are looking into Brunei, we're looking into Sabah, we are looking into Kalimantan as well, part of Indonesia. We believe that this island of Borneo have a lot of experience and opportunity, and people from different races and different country and culture, we can offer different experience for people around the world to come here. So we are expanding outside from Sarawak.
That's wonderful. And maybe our very last question of everything that Grit has done, including the Borneo 100 just weeks ago, what's the single event you're proudest of and why?
Oh, that's a very interesting question to ask. I think the events that I'm proud of, one of the main events that I'm proud of is many years back, I organized a Jagoi Trail Run. Jagoi Trail Run is a small place in Bau. When I organize it, it is a small scale, numbers is small, it's not as big as other events we have thousands of people. I organize it with the locals. Why I feel fulfilled is because when I organize the event, after I organize the event, some of the elders come to see me and tell me that, Awang, now I feel I don't want to sell my land because I felt that the land could mean more to me. I felt that this is a very good opportunity for me to show what I have, I can show to the world what I have. So that means a lot to me. What in the end of the day, what we want is that for people to understand the value of the things in their hand. And we just help you to see that, wow, actually, this is something that you can show to the world. I'm very proud of Jaguar Trail, even though I'm no longer organizing it. I still feel that this is one of the events which very meaningful to me.
It's a beautiful answer. And well done, Awang. I must say, truly inspirational. And thank you for taking the time to sit down with us. That was a wonderful conversation. Ladies and gentlemen, that was Awang. Bamboo rafts, crocodile flushing, a coastline triathlon that just put Sematan on the international sporting map, and over 100 events built from nothing since 2016. He's not just running events, he's building an entire industry for Sarawak, one at a time. So if you want to find out more about upcoming Grit events, maybe you want to volunteer with them, you can find their details in the description below. And don't forget to subscribe to Go Talk Studios for more honest conversations. Awang, you know our closing statements, all right? Let's look over there in that camera on the count of 3. 1, 2, 3. Real people, real stories, real Sarawak. Until next time.